Hey there folks, SeKo Starcraft here, bringing you some amazing Starcraft replays. We have got a ToD, Team XMG, up against Acer's MMA, the always baller Korean Terran player. I like actually watching a lot of Todd's commentary. I don't know if anybody else kind of enjoys his style. Kind of sarcastic, got the accent going, lots of fun to listen to, and actually plays some pretty sick Starcraft still. See some really fun strategies out of him, but he's up against MMA. The ever-dropping, ever-aggressive Terran. Now we'll see what comes out of this. This is on Habitation Station, where anything can happen. The points don't matter. We'll see what craziness happens then. Not kind of expecting anybody to go for anything too economically cheesy. It depends on what people open up with, I suppose. But I would be liking to see one of these games throwing something a little different, throw a little wrench into things a bit. I'm sure when you play like ladder, if there's a ladder replay, there's a little bit more opportunity for doing things a little crazy. But in this instance, looks a little bit more into just a standard opening. We see a little bit of scouting right now from ToD, just to make sure there wasn't just a random barracks inside of his base. That's generally the Terran's responsibility, to make sure there's not a random gateway in his base. And you will be actually having a gas a long time before the barracks, which kind of makes me think that it's going to be for a really fast factory in Banshee potentially, or factory in Widowmine play. That's just what my heart's telling me. It's what I believe in my heart, people. Gateway before gas, so it looks like it's just going to be a fairly standard opening out of ToD. Just something that's very safe is what I got to predict. Tequila's good, absolutely. Gas going down, and lots of economy. Nothing too else crazy happening other than that, I suppose. We'll just see if there's a Reaper popping out here, but he's got enough gas for the factory, so it would surprise me if that was the case. Immediate factory, immediate. Factory's also rallied down here. So I've got to think it might be for Widowmine drops, which would be really fun. Still amazingly effective against protoss. Either the protoss has something that deals with it and you just pick up and leave, or the protoss has nothing to deal with it, and then they're in a lot of trouble. So if we see Twilight Tech come out of ToD here, and it is a Widowmine play, probably going to be in a lot of trouble. Looks like it might just be for a Mothership core expand here on 21. The pretty standard timing. Down goes that, down goes that. This is probably one of my favorite Protoss openings. It's so safe in that instance, but it allows you to get out a really good economy. Does delay this warp gate just ever so slightly, but not really even that big of a deal, and you can take it on just one gas. One more quick check, because it's pretty easy to throw in a proxy factory or float one over, so we'll put a pylon there just to be able to make sure that's the case. We do have the Widow Mines, we do have the Marines, so I'm thinking it's going to be a 2 Widow Mine, a 4 Marine drop, and the Terran's going to go out for a scout. And you can see how obviously this delays his economy pretty heavily. No sign of any type of quick command center, but it's the timings he had on the resources for this build are so crisp. Just everything about it is almost exactly timed perfectly. Now the Mothership core might throw a bit of a wrench in things here. He's actually getting out a couple of Hellions. The 3 Hellion attack at the front with the Widow Mines in the back make it difficult. ToD does have a forge down, so we should see some cannons coming down just to be able to deal with this. Otherwise, he can be in a lot of trouble. Robo on the way, because he did scout the Widow Mine. It's actually 6 Marines in one Widow Mine. Might be a little bit more effective. What you really want to do is attack at the natural, try to kill probes, at the same time as you're going in with the drop to force movement. There's not really too much units-wise in position here. Just the Mothership core, which does have a photon, and both of these stalkers. Such an aggressive drop here. He actually moves the Widow Mine outside of range. Probably could, yeah, come down with these Marines and start putting some pressure on this Nexus. We'll get the Mothership core as well as a bunch of probes here. Pulls up the Widow Mine just to make sure it doesn't detonate on anything useless. Oh, just about. Does trigger the Widow Mine with a single probe. He cancels an immortal. He realizes he didn't kill the Widowmine there. And this is actually pretty crappy right now for ToD. He can come down the ramp. It might take an eon for, you know, just a handful of Marines to kill this Nexus. Just trying to focus down the medevac here. What we see MMA really trying to do is actually position his Marines to intercept any of these probes. He's already got quite a bit of work done here. He's killed 10 workers already. And he does get away with almost all of his Marines. So that's a very, very effective attack. His command center is finished, just about to morph into an orbital. And now he's already got more Marines. They're rallied to the front. He's got to be careful to change his rally points. But in a pretty good spot, I must say. Forced a cannon out. A couple more gateways going down. And he's getting the observers into place as well. So if we look at the overall economy, it's not that big of a lead for the Terran player. 3 mules down at one time are going to boost his economy pretty good. Now it's more if he's going to go for a follow-up 2-base attack, or just try to play this out standard. And seeing that there is these 3 racks pumping out units with stim, likely be a +1 stim timing that I expect going across the map. Twilight on the way, upgrades already happening for the Protoss player. And he doesn't know that there was an observer in his base. Where'd the observer go? It's over here. I don't think he sees this drop moving across. He does not. There's a pylon here to scout, and we can see where the Terran intends to drop those medevacs. We have another command center on the way as well. So MMA's playing this pretty solid. He's up by a lot of supply. His tech's in a good spot. His economy's in a good spot. So I really can feel pretty happy about that. Photon overcharge at the natural. It's going to be whether or not... Well, yeah, the Protoss is going to pull probes. Not so great against the Marines. There's just no attacking units out for the Protoss player. And ToD just rage quits. That was all the attacking units he had with those 3 Stalkers. What an incredible play there from the MMA, knowing this opponent was going to be trying to really push out economy again. Had no units back at home. Cool. Game 1 goes to MMA in a really convincing fashion. We're moving on into game number 2.